Day 7 stitched is complete, and I finished it with a bit of drawn stitching, which I haven't done before because I have a machine and I usually use the machine, but this book is already completed, so it was easier to pencil it in, and I quite like it. Day 8 was neutral. Now I must admit I don't normally work in neutral colours because I like colour so much that that's my preference. But fortunately I had a neutral background on this page, so that made it very simple. And carrying over from yesterday's or the day before's stitch theme, I found a ruffle that was neutral enough for my liking, and I've just stuck it here just as a decorative element. And it was a little long, so I took it across here to add to the stitch on this page. Then I've included, this is one of my favourite things to put in a journal. It's just a little flip. So a scrap of paper, we always have offcuts of paper. This is avocado dyed, folded, and then the front decorated. And I think I made it a tuck spot behind there. Yes, I did. So you can hide a little something behind the fish if you like. Then for the facing page, which is pink avocado dye, I thought I'd go for a tea-dyed piece. And I found this old piece of my dad's science papers. I suspect this is the North or South Pole, I guess Antarctica, looking at that, but what do I know? Anyway, it had a big crease here, which meant that it wasn't sitting flat, so I found some washi tape that says fragile, handle with care, and then burst out laughing when it actually ripped. So the tape itself was fragile, apparently. I put this in as a flip, and where this folded over, I found a little seal sticker, only to be reminded that that morning in the paper, on the 8th of January, I had read about bird flu killing thousands of seal pups as the disease nears Antarctica. So this sort of serendipity, you know, I chose this because it went with the fish and the colours, and I chose the seal probably because I'd read this earlier and it was on my mind. I don't know. But anyway, I like the way that all came together, and I made this a tuck spot in here too, so there's a journaling card there. So I really had fun with this, even though it's not my usual style. And then today's prompt is foliage. And I have to say, this one I'm really happy with. This is the first prompt that has actually fitted with what I've been working on and doing, because I'm very interested at the moment in making botanical journals. I've been looking at ways of getting leaf shapes. Now, this is my first experiment following a video from Sasebo on YouTube, the easiest eco-printing ever. It's just fantastic, and I really encourage you to go and have a look. It's using your embossing machine and fresh leaves from the garden. This is a milk thistle. And Dragana originally did it because she wanted to emboss, you know, like to have the impression of the leaf. But what she discovered was that the fresh leaves, look at that, they bleed. And of course the juicier ones, like a thistle, really literally bleed. So I just love this, and I want to show you some of the other ones. After I saw her video, I went rushing up the driveway and pruned along the edge of the driveway. So as well as the milk thistle that was growing out of the drive, I have a tree begonia, which has, the leaves are actually green with a red border. And look, I got purple. I'm so excited. So you just put the leaves here, sandwich it, run it through the embosser, and watch in disbelief as all this colour appears. And then you have a perfect mirror image design. Now, sometimes the colour isn't very strong. You get really more of a ghost than an imprint. And she suggested painting on rust water, which is what I did here. And it still didn't colour it very much, but it's what's made this darker outline so distinct and made the paper go, because it was just a mixed media paper that was this colour, made the paper go more orange. So this one I tried. These are little daisies, very tiny little daisies, and I even got some colour from those as well, and all this beautiful detail in the leaves. And then I found a use for viburnums, which I really don't like viburnums. But look how nice they impress. And these do emboss. There is quite a depression in the paper here. And this has been painted with the rust water, which made it so nice and dark. It's just magic. You brush it on, and it's like one of those invisible pictures. Just add water. The black just happens instantly. It's amazing. And then this one, look at the detail in this. This is the flowering stem of the pennywort that grows everywhere here, and this little heart-shaped vine, which didn't give much colour but gave a nice impression. The pennywort flower is very juicy, so it really splattered across the page, but the detail in this is amazing. I love it. Didn't paint this with rust water. And then my favourite piece, look at this. Ta-da! Isn't that amazing? This is actually a scarlet geranium. And I still am, I'm blown away that such a bright red flower squashed and became purple. And this is its leaf. And it appears to be colour fast. This is probably nearly a week ago now I'd made these, and the colour hasn't changed at all. So that's my little experiments with foliage. Now, the other thing I've been toying with the idea of doing is, in botanical journals you often see people with leaves that they attach on the edges that are the artificial leaves. I'm sort of on a buy-nothing kick at the moment, and I don't really like the idea of using plastic leaves, so I'd been trying to come up with other alternatives for making leaves. I took the reverse image of this is again a tree begonia, so this one has been painted with the rust water. You can see the difference. It strengthens the tannins or whatever the juice is, but it darkens it as well. And then I cut out the reverse side and glued it. So now it's a double-sided leaf. And so that could work attached to a journal. I mean, this one doesn't have much pattern on it, but you know what I mean. If it was a stronger colour here, you would have a real leaf, and that is just glue stick and a bit of ink on the edges. Then I thought, what if I find some fabric leaves in my stash, which I did, and I sandwiched it on a piece of hand-dyed fabric, and then I free machined around, holding them together, and cut them out, and I am super happy with these. They feel really nice. On the edge of a page, they'll be double-sided. I could use some other more leafy thing here, but I quite like having just that contrast. Maybe not in this book, but I'm really excited by this, and I think I'll be hunting through my fabrics later today, trying to find more examples of leaves. I was thinking I could attach it here to remember, this peeping out thing. Then I realised, because this book has this fold, that's not going to work. So I have cut down a little pocket, and I'll glue that here, and then I'll be able to tuck it in and I'll be able to tuck this one in, and they'll still peep over the edge. So that's there. And then on a roll with experimenting, I actually also had a go at doing some impressions. This is just using acrylic paint and painting the underside of the leaf and then pressing it down on the paper. This one I moved a bit, so there's a bit of a blur. These ones I'm very happy with. This is a weed I pulled out of the garden this morning, and it made beautiful, beautiful leaf impressions. But I think I like this one. It's a bit lumpy. The paint was a bit thick, but I really like the colour of this, so I'm going to put that one there. And this will be my spread for foliage. So I really, yeah, go and have a look at Sasibo's video. It is a game changer. I can see a lot more of these sorts of things appearing in junk journals across the land.